In the small village of Quanky Pines, a group of fantasy fairies lived in these high-in-the-sky tree houses in the clouds. They were fantasy fairies, so that means they had glitter hair. Colours you've never seen before, variations of pink, blue and green. But very vibrant, never dull. Did I mention glitter? Yes, they had hair that sparkled. Every time you brush it, tons of glitter will fall their backs. Their skin sparkled all the time due to the glitter always falling off. Everyone in the village referred to them as the Dumdazells. They were like a myth around the town. Some people believed in these mystical creatures and some didn't, but overall they all were curious. Ring Ring Jasmine looked over to her alarm clock. She hit the snooze button and rolled back over. "Jasmine, wake up!" Coraline said. "We have an emergency." Jasmine rubbed her eyes as she saw the sunlight glaring at her through the window. "The village is filled with popcorn." "The town is filled with popcorn." Okay," she said. "I'm going back to sleep." "This has to be a dream." "Ouch!" while she held her arm from Coraline's pinch. "It's not a dream," Coraline said. "See, look!" She pointed at the TV. Oh my goodness! As Jasmine sat up sternly. The town was in complete chaos. News reporters were everywhere to get their next quick break. There were tons of popcorn in the village, wrecks on the highway, kids packing up popcorn in their book bags. The kids even made ski mountains where they used popcorn to make a hill to slide down like they were in the middle of Aspen on a ski trip. Some kids even started having fights over the popcorn. There was chocolate, white chocolate, raspberry, red velvet, all the flavours you could imagine. It was chaos but magical. "Wow, this is amazing," Jasmine implied. She started to giggle. "How did this happen?" "Well, looks like the Rosemount Manufacturing Company had a malfunction and couldn't stop the machines. The workers didn't know what to do, so they split. Our work is never done," Jasmine and Coraline said in unison. "Meanwhile, the town is a disaster. Popcorn is filling up the streets more and more. Let's call the other fairies." "We can't do this alone," Jasmine implied. Jasmine pulled out her horn and leaned out the window. She blew into the horn. All the fairies started reporting to Jasmine's treehouse. Selena, one of the fairs, said, "We heard what's going on in town. What can we do to help? We got to get there in a hurry." "Come on," Jasmine said, while waving her hands, leading the fairies. Flying over the town, they could see all of the havoc going on. Once they got over to Rosemount, they could barely see inside. They peeked through the window. The popcorn was to the roof. "Look, we can get through this way, right here," Coraline said. She pointed toward this small entrance. The fairies swarmed towards the popcorn machine. They tried reaching the lever, but nothing happened. It was broken. Jasmine said. "We're going to have to use one of my magic spells. We have to stop this madness. Book, please," Jasmine said, while one of the fairies handed her this large book. It had every spell you could think of. "Let's see how to fix a broken machine. Ooh, let's try this one. Come on, fairies, repeat after me. Abra-cadabra, the magic we shall find." The other fairies joined in. "Let's get together for Quanky Pines. Wands." All the fairies pointed towards the machine with their wands. The wands came out like bolts of lightning. All colours you could think of. Suddenly the lever pulled up and the machine came to a halt. "It worked," Jasmine said. "It worked," she repeated. All the fairies cheered. The workers outside the facility noticed that the popcorn spilling over had stopped. Thomas, one of the workers, shouted out, "It's fixed!" Everyone outside cheered. "Come on," Thomas said. "We have to clean this mess up." Thomas started calling all the shots and directing people on what to do. "Ilana, call the city. We need volunteers to clean up the roads." Jasmine looked down at the smiling people and saw them work together. She looked back at the fairies. "I think our job is done." All the fairies smiled. "Let's go," Coraline said. "Until next time, troops." The fairies all went up far in the clouds and disappeared. Meanwhile, the town was getting back to normal. Everyone joined in and helped clean up the popcorn disaster. Everything was back to normal at Quanky Pines. The streets grew quiet and the town's hustle and bustle slowed down from earlier that day. The families settled in the night and fairies completed another task to save the people in the town yet again.